What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another day in Car Mechanic Simulator 2021 with me, the Virtual Mechanic, and we're still on the Taxi DLC. You saw all of the cars in the last episode. Which is your favourite so far? Obviously, we've only repaired fully one of them, but you have seen them all fully repaired and all in a varying states of disrepair. But which one is your favourite? Which one are you most looking forward to working on, whatever platform you be on? I know it's not out on Xbox, PlayStation yet. I believe that is coming in the near future. We just have to wait for the platforms to verify the DLCs before they can go live. So there's what the delay is on that one. But anyway, let's look at today's project. Obviously, another taxi. This is the Bolt Escapade Mark IV Taxi Edition. Everyone does have multiple configs. Some of them even have three, or one of them has three. They are a standard variant like this, as just a car, and a variant with the taxi version. Obviously, all the ones we are going to be doing are the taxi versions, and we will be taking them all around the racetrack to compare them to each other themselves, see which is the best/fastest taxi in the Taxi DLC. So we're going to be working on the Bolt Escapade Mark IV today. The engine in this one is the V8 single overhead cam FME engine, pumping out 187 factory horsepower. So fingers crossed we may get some good laps around the racetrack and maybe knock the Fauxcedes off of the top spot. We need to beat a 1:41.811 to get this one as better than the Fauxcedes. Can we do it? Stick around to the end to find out. We'll obviously be tuning up this engine with all the performance parts. We need to check the engine first anyway, so we'll get on that in a bit. But before we get there, did we get a good deal for the Bolt Escapade? No, obviously not. 10,125 is what I paid, and I could currently sell it for 9,963, losing out on 162. But that is what it is. We're not drag racing, so we won't be clawing back any winnings there. But we do have what looks like a full engine in there, so that's always good. The engine blade looks pretty complete as well. And we're missing some wheels, so we definitely don't have, or we're missing a wheel. But that's not too bad. We can live with that. So hopefully, if we, fingers crossed, we won't be missing too much from the suspension. I can already see some rubber bushings missing, so I'll have to get them added to my shopping list. In fact, all of the rubber bushings on that central cross member are missing. But we do have the inner and outer tie rods and the sway bar end link. So there you go. It is all there. If I just go into this mode here, you'll see how very little is visible. It is literally just the bushings at the front, spring setup and a shock down the back, along with two U brackets, two more bushings, and a little bit of a drive axle and the drum brake cover, because we do have drum brakes on the back of this one, which I guess maybe does make sense. And obviously we will be keeping them as drum brakes. So there we go. This is what we're going to be working on today. It does have one of the alternate liveries on there. We might use that one. I'm not decided yet. We'll think of that when we get to the paint booth. I quite like the white and red, and I don't want to have a collection of yellow cars out the front. I know only two of them officially are yellow, but we'll see what we've got to play with on the livery options a little bit later on. Luckily, though, the engine's all there. Bodywork is definitely feeling sorry for itself, so we've got our work cut out ahead of us on that one. But there we go. Let's get started and let's get into the car wash. Get this Bolt Escapade scrubbed all shiny and clean inside and outside, although there's very little on the inside. And I'll be back in just a couple of moments. She's all clean. We know the engine and most of the suspension is in there, but do we need to drain the oil from that big V8 block? There is an oil pan there, so we do need to get that drained off, which is always a good place to start. Out you come. That's not filthy horrible, but there wasn't that much of it, but still had oil in it, which is a good sign. So let's jump in underneath. Obviously, we need to start, if I can swing all the way around, with our cheeky little starter. There she is. Out you come. We do have it, so we know we don't need to add it to our shopping list. Our drive shaft may be a bit more extended than it wants to be. Nice little gap in the middle there, but that's just one of those things. I guess we could have made the drive shaft bigger, and that way it wouldn't have broken in the middle. Let's just see at the back, and it's not even connecting front or rear either. So, yeah, we'll gloss over that one for the minute. Let's just take our drive shaft out and see what happens. I have already told one of the game developers about some of the drive shaft issues that I've known about. I know people are talking about a few other issues, but there was an update today, so that may be fixed. So anyway, well, there was an update today. Obviously, it hasn't fixed the drive shaft. I can confirm that because it's still there. But we'll grab these front exhaust sections while we're here. In fact, we'll grab all of the under exhaust section while we're here and see what we need. Middle mufflers. So we're going to be using some delete pipes on there. Double middle mufflers. Is this a whole new custom exhaust setup? You don't normally have double middle mufflers, do you? There we go. Interesting. We'll carry on up to the front. Obviously, we've got all of the stuff for the engine out to hopefully pull that engine out first time round. Let's give it a go. Over to the engine crane. Get up to the front there and see if we can pull that V8 out. We can. We did get everything. Always good to see it. Let's crack on. If we jump into the engine bay, obviously, we know we don't need to replace anything for the engine bay because we're pretty sorted on that. I mean, we'll probably need to replace some of this, but we've got it all there for the moment. So now we just need to get on and drain a few pieces. So additional tools, drain tool, and we're just going to go to a place where I can see everything. So it looks like we just got the wishy-washy, the brake servo, and the coolant. No power steering on our Bolt Escapade today, so it is what it is. Let's get the wishy-washy reservoir drained if it wants to come out. There we go. I'm going to drain the rest of this, get it all stripped down, get everything I need bought to put this beautiful Bolt Escapade all back together, and then it'll be time to work on the bodywork, see what options we've got, if any, and then it's time to get it into the paint shop. I'm going to carry on stripping all of this. I'll see you in a bit. That's everything repaired, replaced, or upgraded, ready to go back on our Bolt Escapade, but we need to finish this bodywork out first. So let's start stripping it down. Fenders, front bumper, headlight, off you come there. Anything round the side. Oh, right side body window, off you come. Rear window, we've obviously got our tail light. That's the body and not the bumper. Trunk up there. We can't forget our taxi light, off you come. Nothing else around there. No body window on that side. Singular door, mirror, and window. And I think that might have actually been it. And absolutely zero interior. So we'll figure that one out in a little while. Have we got everything? Is that everything off? We can switch the bare frame to the standard car version if we wanted to. I just want to check here, and there is nothing there. So we have got everything. Frames at 27%, and I bought the car for a little over 10,000. It was 800 in the previous episode. I'm gonna go 1,000 for this one. I think it's a little worse. 750. It wasn't worse. It was actually slightly better. But there we go. Never mind. Let's get you all sorted. And let's jump in and take a look at the body shop. Now, obviously, there's no tuning body parts for any of the taxis apart from the Le Crocs and Marseille. So back we go just to the bodywork station and find the Bolt Escapade Mark IV. There you are. Now, I do believe everything is just straight up like for like. Nice and simple. Yes, it is. I'm not going to worry about this too much. I'm going to go repair the stuff I can repair, if anything. Buy what else we need to buy. Get this body back together, and then we'll get it into the paint shop and decide if we want a taxi yellow or a red and white livery. What would you choose? Let me know in the comments below. What is that? I think that's a little bit of livery staining just there. Ta-da! But anyway, never mind. I'm going to go sort all the bodywork out. Be back in a second. Let's get the bodywork of the Bolt Escapade all back together then, ready to go into the paint shop and check out the awesome liveries from the Taxi DLC. So front fender, hood, as I said, all of this is like for like, so we're just going to go around and slap it all back on. Front bumper, obviously we've got some lovely headlights on there and a blank license plate for the time being. Windshield up you go, fender on you go. We need our taxi light on the roof. I do like this one. It looks very nice. On you go there. We've got window and a mirror. Oh, no, I've just taken the door off, apparently. I don't know what's happened there. What the hell? I wasn't even holding the mouse button. But anyway, let's crack on. It doesn't want to let me select this window here. Can I not do it because the mirror was on? Oh, it thinks the window's in. Are you kidding me? That was weird. It was highlighted. Never mind. Anyway, let's carry on around. Let's get this going. Few issues. I don't know what that was actually an issue with. I think it's because I took the door off whilst putting the window in. I think that's what happened there. I think the window officially stayed in, but the door came out. I don't know. Anyway, keep going around. On with the trunk. Rear bumper. We've obviously got some lovely tail lights on here. We'll try not to mess anything up anymore. Blank license plate at the back there. Body window, in you go. And then obviously the rear doors. I don't want to touch these anymore. Just be very careful with them, I think. Front door, on you go. A fixed front door. Window in, and then obviously our mirror on top. And that should be everything for the bodywork. We're just going to go in and get the interior. Now, the interior for the Bolt Escapade is the Bolt Cape Mark IV bench, the Bolt Cape Mark IV front and passenger seats, and the Bolt Cape Mark IV steering wheel. Nice and simple. That's what it expects, and they are quite nice looking seats in there. Again, we may try and do something with them a little bit later, maybe more with the textures and maybe some of this piping. If we could change the colour of that piping, that would be absolutely incredible. But is that everything on our taxi for the time being? 100%, 100%, 100%. That's what we like to see. We can already... Around this side, we can already sort of see one of the liveries, but let's go check them out fully in the paint shop. Let's get our Bolt Escapade all painted then. It is a nice looking car, I'm not going to lie. I do quite like it, but it's better as a taxi. So let's crack on, and first off, let's look at the factory colours. Lovely gloss white, gloss black, obviously the gloss yellow, lovely red, blue, burgundy red, a sort of tealy, sort of greeny, seafoam green blue, that sort of colour. Beige, because why not? And a silver. Now, I'm not sure of any of them, so we're going to leave it on its wants to go gloss yellow. So we'll leave it at that for a minute, and let's check out the liveries. First slot is our official taxi slot, the yellow one, looking pretty fantastic. I don't want to do too much that's going to look all the same of these taxis, so we're probably not going to use that because we probably use black and yellow, maybe a splash of white in the engine, and we already done that. So what's next? We've got our red and white one, obviously our Metro Cabs with a Z on there. Looking quite nice. It's not a bad looking livery. Have we got another option? We do. We have a blue and white. It's called livery 4, but 1, 2. I'm assuming they had another one in mind and decided not to use it in the end. But there we go. Clooud City Cabs. Clooud City Cabs, riding with excellence every mile. I think this is probably what we're going to go for. A nice little cheeky blue and white. But we do want to watch out because our engine bay is yellow because that's not part of the livery. So we want to go back to our colours, and I think we just pop it on the gloss white and that should sort it out. Yes. So what do we reckon for the bolts today? Maybe just a white, actually, because we could sort of do metallic metal stuff on the engine with a splash of this blue, maybe some red for the brakes and stuff like that. I think that might not be bad. So I think we go for white on the bolts, paint engine screws. I'm going to go including the rims as well. And obviously, I remember we just need to turn the saturation down and keep the brightness up. This doesn't really matter. So we'll leave it on that for some white bolts. We've got our livery on. Let's get it painted. Fingers crossed on that one. I do quite like it. The blue and white, sort of something a little bit different. And obviously, we are going to have a full yellow taxi with the liner navigator. That is going to be black and yellow 100%. I like that. I think it looks pretty good. I'm not sure what to do with the seats. Pretty confident we'll probably just keep them in that colour. Maybe just try and swap the texture a little bit. The only thing I might change is that steering wheel. The grey on the steering wheel is way off from everything else in here. It looks a bit bad. So we might just try and black that one out a little bit. Definitely try and put some texture on the seats. I don't think I'm going to change anything else on the body. I quite like it. Obviously, window tinting. Maybe. No, I think we'll leave the red on the taillights because we've got a bit of red on the door, and obviously we're probably going to have red on the brakes as well. So that's the colour we're going to go for. Fingers crossed. Do we have something in here? We do have the pump and module, so we'll just quickly whack that on and make sure the bolts went white, which they have, which is fine. That's all I wanted to see. We'll come back out of there, get that closed down, and I'm going to crack on now, get everything else painted, decide what we're going to do for the underside. Probably... Do we do a chrome for the underside, all the suspension, or because we did a chrome plated in maybe we just go for a black on this one. We'll save the chrome for something else. Maybe a bit of black, maybe a little bit of carbon fibre in this one as well. Actually, some carbon fibre might be quite nice because we are racing all of these taxis, so we do need a bit of race car feel to it. So there we go. We're going to splash in a bit of carbon fibre on this one. Obviously, blue, white, and maybe a little bit of red as well, just for good measure. So I had to crack on, get everything painted. We'll be back on the lifter, ready for reassembly in just a few moments. That's everything painted for the Bolt Escapade Mark IV. I do quite like this livery. The more I've been working on it backwards and forwards, the more this blue stripe that wraps all the way around has sort of grown on me. I'm a big fan of it now. I'm not going to lie. I wasn't the biggest fan at the beginning, but it definitely has grown on me, especially with that city skyline in there. But anyway, let's talk about what's changed. One thing you can probably see is the seats. We did get some of that beading going around the trim of the seats in the white, along with the back covers as well, both front and back. The back does also have the seatbelt clips done, just about visible there, and obviously the base at the back is white along with the front. It all looks pretty good. We did splash a little bit of red on the steering wheel, just on the Bolt logo, along with darkening a dark grey on a matte finish on that steering wheel, with the Quality of Life mod access to red as our secondary colour. I think that turned out pretty nice on there. Let's talk about the rear suspension. Obviously, we've got our red brake calipers on the front there for our slight performance addition, and also a red brake drum at the back. That maybe a little bit over the top, but we'll see. The rest of it is just in a gloss black all the way across here. Everything black is in a gloss black, obviously apart from the shocks, which are in carbon fibre. All our bushings are in the lovely blue with a black centre, and obviously our white bolts show up really well on them. And just a few splashes of blue and white dotted around. Our fuel tank is in black with a blue fuel pump, and now I need to get back up the front. I went too far. There we go. Obviously our Brumbo brake calipers in their performance part red, but everything else is in that gloss black. Apart from this is a pearl black. Everything else is in a gloss black. Carbon fibre on the shocks there, a few little white additions, a few little splashes of blue. It all looks quite nice. If we jump up to the engine bay, carbon fibre, carbon fibre, carbon fibre, carbon fibre, carbon fibre, carbon fibre, and even the little reservoir on the brake servo is also carbon fibre. Looking pretty nice. The fan shroud is carbon fibre with some lovely blue fans on there. Let's take a look at that engine bay from this view. I think it looks quite nice on the white base there. Everything sort of pops out just enough. We've even got a little bit of extra red for our performance parts on the battery just there. But now we need to go and build the V8 single overhead cam engine. There she is on the stand. Black and white on the engine block there. I haven't been painting the blocks for a little while, but this one looked really good in that. Then we've got black and blue on the head covers on either side. Again, looking quite nice, mostly black around the outside with the little slivers of blue here and there. And our front timing cover, obviously in the blue, with the black and blue on the idle rollers, black on the water pump pulley, and a black and blue on the power steering pump, and black on the alternator. But let's get on and start getting the rest of this all together. We'll start with the head covers because these are in a carbon fibre. Just about to see a fine weave on there. Looking very nice. Get you all bolted up. Do the same for the other side. On we go. Hopefully when this car goes in the engine, that's definitely not how this works. When this engine goes in the car, hopefully it looks fantastic. Intake manifold in blue and white on there. The white is the Force Quality of Life mod white, so you get the two-tone effect on it. I think that looks quite nice on there. And then we also did some white ignition coils just for a splash more at the top, make it look quite cool on you. Oop. Underneath these ignition coils are the 4 spark plugs, by the way. And yes, I did miss them because they were hiding from me. Fuel rails on this one are black with just a splash of performance part red on there, just to sort of keep it going. I think it looks quite nice. A little bit of red on the top of the engine there. We've got a little bit of red down here as well, but I think that's about it. Oh, apart from the back, you do have these little blobs in red as well, whatever you want to call them. On with the throttle, we've got that one in white and red as well. I missed that part. There was an extra bit of red just on the top. Then for our exhaust manifolds, now these are all in a white, but as you can see, I've not forced them, so they've got a more natural finish on them. The rest of the exhaust is all matched into this, and hopefully will look pretty good once it's all in the car, at least from the underside. I mean, you can't really see exhaust anyway, so it's sort of here nor there, but there we go. That's the single overhead cam V8 all finished. Now we need to get it dropped into our Clooud City Cabs taxi. In we go. I forgot to grab the engine crane, so let's go and grab that quickly. Little sprint to the other end of the workshop. Up we come, and let's get this engine in. In you go. Get the crane put away, and I can already see just the blue popping out over the top there with the white on the top. It looks very nice, I'm not going to lie. I'm quite pleased with that one. And obviously we've got all our bolts going white in there as well, just giving it that extra little bit of definition. I think that looks really, really smart. Pleased with that one. Let's close you down for the minute, get you up in the air, get our gearbox, starter, drive shaft, and the exhaust all in, and get this beautiful Bolt Escapade Mark IV finished off. Black and white on the gearbox, looking pretty good there. Spin around to this side. I think I put blue on the starter. I did indeed, just for a little splash. Just a natural finish, not a force, so you still get all the details on there and things like that. As we now jump onto our drive shaft, I have used the carbon fibre one. Again, not in carbon fiber because that's just how I roll. Now, obviously, I showed you earlier on in the episode that these don't line up, and they still don't line up. I haven't fixed it or adjusted it. I'm doing these as they come. The front's a bit better with the bigger one, and there's no gap in the middle if you use a TK Aftermarket. So it's not too bad. It is what it is, one of those things. But anyway, let's crack on. Front exhaust sections, as I said, obviously not in that forced white, so they've got all the detailing on there. And I just think it looks quite cool. Don't know if I'll do it again, but we'll see, because obviously normally they come out nice and shiny like that. But this with the texture and detail makes it look a little bit different. Anyway, on with our collection of 4 middle mufflers, which I do think is a bit extreme, but there we go. There are delete pipes anyway, so it doesn't matter. And then down to the back, if I could zoom out enough, for our 2 rear mufflers. As I say, not forced, so you still get these welding marks in there. Just adds a little bit of definition to it, in my opinion. If we take a walk underneath, I do quite like that. And it's, you know, it's not just bright white in your face. I know the drive shaft is, but the exhaust isn't just bright white in your face. Kind of looks like it is actually meant to be there. So there we go. That's all of that. We'll get it back down because we do have some wheels to go on at this beautiful Bolt. I have already decided them. So let's jump in and crack on with that. Now, obviously, originally it wants the rim at Zephyr, but we're not doing that. We've gone for the Rim Classic 03. Make sure I get these the right way round. For the fronts, it's a 20-inch rim. Yes, it is massive, with a 245 width and a 40 profile on there. And they are in blue and white. The white bolts look a little bit funky on the rest of the white because, well, yeah, that's still got its sort of texture on it, and this is a bit more forced. But there we go. Blue in the centre, a little bit of white just to give it some definition. I quite like that. Down to the back, the rear rim is obviously the same rim of the Rim Classic 03. I didn't mean to do that, but it is a 20-inch rim with a 275 width, so it's a lot thicker, still with the 40 profile though. So the rim size and the profile size are the same, but the rear tyres we've gone at 275 for a little bit more grip and traction when we're on the racetrack in just a little while. Let's get on with the other side. Make sure I get it the right one. On you go. Oh, the white looks better on this side. We'll go with that. Up to the front, get this last rim on. There you go. It looks slightly worse at the front again, but never mind. Maybe it's just the sunlight. We're in a bit of a shadow here, so maybe it's just because there's no sunlight on it. It doesn't look as good. But there we go. Let's get it back down on the ground and get a better look. Swing around to the other side. I think that looks quite smart. As a more of a racing taxi, obviously not as a standard taxi. That might be a bit over the top. Still a little bit high. If I was to do this again, I think I'd bring down the ride height so it's a bit, you know, a bit more level to the tyres there. Sort of tuck that one up a bit under, but it's neither here nor there. Apart from that, this is the beautiful Bolt Escapade Mark IV Taxi Edition for our Clooud City Cabs car. All finished off. We just need to top up some liquids, get some plates done. But for the minute, let's get this car outside in the sun and then get it on a dyno run. That's 2 out of 6 taxis complete now. Obviously, the Bolt Escapade Mark IV looking pretty good. And behind us, the awesome Prami Club also all finished. This one has set its time around the track. The Bolt will be coming up in just a short while. But let's get on and take a quick look around. Oh, before we do that, we need to finish this one off. So down we go. Off with our blank front license plate. And let's get on our finishing plate, which is CCC, Clooud City Cabs, Virtual Mechanic 1, obviously. Looking quite good on there. Round to the back. We just get you all finished off with that rear plate and then give it time to load and then on with our finishing plate. Now is this beautiful car all finished off and ready to go. Liquids are all topped up. She's a beast. Let's get inside normal mode and see what that single overhead cam V8 sounds like. Again, the only thing I don't like about this is this wood texture on the inside. It just looks a bit weird in my opinion. It's one of those things. It is what it is. Let's just get it started. Not a bad tick over from a V8. We've all heard this engine many a times. It's giving a bit of gas. Still sounding pretty mean and aggressive at that top end. I quite like it. But enough of that. Let's get this beast onto the dyno. See what its horsepower is, what its drag rating is, and then it's onto the racetrack. Let's get the Bolt Escapade Mark IV Taxi dynoed then. 187 factory horsepower from that V8. Bearing in mind the Fauxcedes had 183 tuned total horsepower. So how much will the Bolt have tuned? Let's take a look. A gain of 224 horsepower, 120%. More than an engine. Love to see that. Bringing us up to 410 horsepower versus 183 this should smash the Fauxcedes around the racetrack. With a drag rating of C240, the Fauxcedes was D140, so exactly 100 drag rating better. I don't know how much that's going to extend it by on the racetrack. We'll find out in just a moment. But before we get there, let's have a look at the gearbox tune for today. That's what we've gone for. 2.95 ratio. 6 gears up to a reported 292 in the top gear. I don't think we'll quite reach that round the racetrack, but we'll certainly give it our best shot to see what sort of speed we can get. We obviously have a fully tuned Stage 3 ECU here, giving us 16% additional tuning. I have seen some other YouTubers making videos, and they can't do this. They struggle to do this. Some of them, not all of them. Clearly, they haven't checked out my short, linked in the top right-hand corner here or in the description below, how to easily and perfectly tune the ECU every time without fail. And I mean every single time. I can do it in 3 or 4 moves most of the time. So check out that video if you haven't seen it already. It's a short video, less than 60 seconds long. There's also another one in the description for the carburetors. I haven't seen many YouTubers playing around with that one, so I don't know what the general census is as whether people can do it or not. But there is a short video there in case you are struggling. There we go. Enough of this. Let's get our beautiful Bolt Escapade around the racetrack and see if we can beat the Fauxcedes. On the racetrack with our Clooud City Cabs Bolt Escapade Mark IV. Can we beat the Olsen Prami Club, aka the Fauxcedes, with a 141.811 for its flying lap around the track? There is only one way to find out. We'll be going in a second. We're going to do a standing lap and then a flying lap. Obviously, the flying lap are the ones we want to compare. And you'll see all of the flying lap, regardless of what happens, and some of the standing lap. So let's get on with it. Let's go. Come on, you beautiful little Bolt. You can beat the Fauxcedes round the track. Let's do this. Not too bad off the line. Up to 100 before the first corner, so I'll take that. Round the first corner we go in 4th gear as it ticks over. I am going to come off the acceleration for this first corner a little bit, just to make sure we get around as I nearly lose control. Completing the initial S section, and we're up into 5th on the first straightaway. Let's get on with it. Coming up the middle straight to the big right-hand turn. Is it going to go well for us? It doesn't always. Let's find out. 200 plus kilometers an hour. I'm going to shave some speed and 2 gears, although it's going to jump me back up into 4th on the way out. I'm going to drop it down to 3rd again, just to get a bit of extra acceleration on this little straightaway. What sort of speed can we get on this straight? This should be our fastest bit. 210, 212, 214. I'm going to have to slow it there. We were in 6th gear. We don't want to be around there going 6th gear around the final S's. Not going to be good. Coming around the final corner, lifting off a little bit there, onto the home straight, and we've already beat it with our standing lap. Whoa, remember to brake for this corner when you come flying down the home straight. Now we're on our flying lap. Little bit of it letting off there. Let's keep going. Round the first S's. Can we make it? Should jump us into 5th about now. Oh, there we go. Right on the corner, just as we dipped in. Not too shabby. So we've already officially beaten it just with our standing lap. So what can we get with the flying lap? As long as I make sure to race properly and brake and change gears in the right times and not do stuff like that on the first big corner. But we should be all right. We shouldn't be in 5th gear there, though. There we go. Let's give it down. We're onto the straight now before the big right-hand corner, keeping it nice and flat through that corner there. Let's keep it going. What sort of speed can we get up to before this corner? 200? I don't want to hit 200, really. I do. I am. We've gone too far. Dropping it down to about 130, 140. Keeping it in 4th gear. I'm going to drop it into... No, I'm not. It jumped straight back up into 4th. I was going to drop it into 3rd just for a bit of acceleration on this bit, but it is what it is. We can do this corner flat. We did it last time. Hopefully we can do it again this time. Does get a little bit squirmy, a little bit of dirt kicked up there, but we made it. We're alive. It's all good. Are we going to beat 214 kilometers an hour on the standing lap? Can we? Can we? No, we can't. Oh my God, I've messed it up. We've ruined everything. We've ruined everything, but we're still going. We're still alive. This is what you get. I won't say live television, but you know what I mean. Mistakes happen and issues are caused, but we did still beat it. Not too shabby. 135.469 with some terrible, terrible mistakes. That is my own fault, but that's the way I do it. Once I set out to record the lap, that's what you get. You get a standing lap and a flying lap. If I mess up, that's on me. But luckily, we did still manage to beat the Fauxcedes by around 5 seconds with a 135. 469. Well, there we are, the Bolt Escapade Mark IV with a 1:35.469 on its flying lap, just about beating out the Fauxcedes by around 5 seconds against its 1:41.811. I know that is more than 5 seconds. It's actually a bit over 6, but there we go. It's roughly around 5 seconds faster, putting it at the top of our new taxi race-off. Speed off, which is the fastest taxi, whatever you want to call it. But there we go. Now let's talk some facts and figures about the Bolt Escapade Mark IV taxi. We bought the car for $10,125 and could have sold it and lost out on 162 credits at the beginning, but we didn't do that. We spent $16,625 upgrading and restoring the suspension, the engine bay, all the exhaust and things like that. For that tuned V8 engine plus the liquids topped up its gearbox and starter was $16,156. For the bodywork, getting that all to this finished glory cost us $5,958, including the interior and welding that frame. Our beautiful two-tone wheels and tyres, the classic 03s, were $8,261. Our private CCC VM1 plates were $1,700, and for the painting and finishing cost us $19,655. Quite a lot for painting on this one today, but puts our total at $78,480 from the beautiful Bolt Escapade Mark IV. Let's get off the B-roll, get back to this. There she is, looking fantastic, and I do love that V8 engine in there. But we did spend $78,480 to get there. Is there some money to make, or would there be some money to make from this Bolt Escapade if we were to sell it right now? That's not the screen I want, but never mind. There she is, all finished, all 100% done with that V8 tune from 187 to 410 horsepower, a gain of 120%. Happy when it's more than a whole new engine added on top. But can we make some money when we come to sell it? With a sale of 107,415, we certainly can. Take away our 78,480. It leaves us with a profit of 28,935, and I will take that. Not that we're going to sell it. It's going to end up all lined up along there with the rest of the taxis when we come to the end of this DLC. 2 down, 4 to go, and up next we're going to have the Sakura Tiara, whatever you want to call that. How Tiara? I'm assuming that's how that's pronounced. I'm not sure, but there we go. The taxi edition, again, 2 versions, 1 standard, 1 taxi variation, so you can pick the taxi badges on the top. The engine in this one is the i6 double overhead cam, pumping out 158 factory horsepower, slightly less than the factory of the Bolt Escapade, but who knows, we might do better around the track if I can drive a little bit more stably. So there we go. That's what we've got coming up next, the Sakura Tiara for the taxi DLC. So join us back here. Escapade Mark IV that we did today around the track with its 1:35.469 for its standing lap. I certainly hope so. I'm enjoying the taxi DLC. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Along with a cheeky little comment, let me know what you think of our beautiful Clooud City Cabs Bolt Escapade Mark IV. I hope you did enjoy today's video. Do leave a cheeky little like if you did. Leave me something in the comments. It's always helpful. Subscribe and share this video with someone you think might enjoy it. And if you want to help me even further, consider joining the VM Garage Club, where I give access to all my custom configs and liveries, including that beautiful Ferrari 458 down there. I do need to get that one uploaded. I haven't quite done it yet. I'm sure it'll be done before this video goes live, but there we go. If you want to join, it's £2.99 a month. We've got a Discord where we can all chat, have a laugh, show off builds, other games, things like that. And that's where you get the access to the configs and liveries. And I do show all my builds in there early, along with minimum 24-hour early access to each video. So if you want to do that, like these guys on screen, thank you to my channel members. I appreciate all of you. It would very much help me out for £2.99 a month, less than a cup of coffee. Thank you all so much for watching. Have a beautiful day, whatever it is you're getting up to. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.
Like and subscribe for Virtual Mechanic.